Okay. April 22nd of 2025 at 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for an hour and a half. I'm transferring files from the computer onto the hard drive. Clearly, I'm working the computer hard here with these videos. Now, whatever you're going to see after this is me talking about, well, whatever I'm talking about as I'm going through my room, okay? And how she stole my jewelry, my few coins that I had, my rings, which were, what do you call that? Jewelry when it's got rhinestones and, you get the brooches and you know, you get the diamond, like oh, there's a certain name for it. Anyway, biker rings and rings with rhinestones in them and those kind of things, right? Silver coin, 50-cent coin from the United States of America, miscellaneous, just that. Maybe a little gold hoops, or just nothing major, right? But it's all I had, people, outside of what I got left somewhere else. This was under my table. She took it out from underneath the table because she was moving shit. Anyway, she rifled through it. She stole a jewelry boxes with that color. You'll hear me talk about it. With vintage necklaces, vintage. I'm going to put a dollar price on this, people, and classify it as vintage because some of this stuff came directly from the Bahamas when my mother was alive. Okay. I'm 63. My mother died when I was 25, and she brought them back when I was a kid. Not to mention the other things that were in those jewelry boxes. So vintage belts, vintage necklaces, and the boxes were thick, full. Yeah, because I was too busy in the freaking yard. So I never got to wear anything. I never, you know, right? Okay. Now, I got a big job today because this bitch was fast. She knew what she was doing. She was going for specific shit. I think the mixing up of the jars, people, was to bring it a distraction so that I would focus on the jars, get all whatever, feel the need to organize them and not pay attention to maybe the things that she was stealing. Because she went from spot, I'm in an area, remember I told you I've gone like basically 3/4 through the room as best as I can to just get a general idea of what she was poking through and what she took. I'm at the last quarter of the room. This is within the last quarter of the room, and I haven't quite gotten in there the rest of the way, and I know what's in there that would be vintage jewelry, okay? Okay? In other boxes, jewelry boxes, that type of thing, but a different kind. And she you know, because she was up on my, where that trunk was, and she flattened down those two boxes, and I'm like, why did you do that? Because you know why? She was taking shit down, and she needed a place to maybe lay something, right? Because I have another trunk there on my other dresser. So today, I don't care how long it takes me, just like I'm opening up box after box after box, relabeling the box, taking out what like those apples you'll see I took out. There was 2 of them. I knew they were there, right? And I just didn't want to deal with them, so I put them in there. But now I need the jars, so I'm happy I did that, because now I've got the jars for the chocolate. at least for some chocolate, right? With the baker's chocolate. That's where I'm going to put the baker's chocolate, is in those jars. And then I'll put the baker's chocolate someplace else. And I'll leave just a small jar out. Like, I'll leave a mason jar out per chocolate out. And then if I ever need to, you know, it depends. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I'm putting I'm putting Boo Boo Baker's chocolate in those jars. Plus, I've got the 4 jars over here that I haven't even washed yet. I'm going to wash them. And I'm going to put the amaranth in there. And then I'm going to put them in the boxes where those apples were. Okay? And then I'm going to write on the box what it is. Because there's another box that says amaranth. But, you know, this girl is fast. And because she's strong and she's, you know, experienced, who knows? Who knows if the amaranth is in that box? As I put other amaranth in another box. The newer one, right? Now that I kind of have an idea where the older one is, I'll get to the older one first before I use the newer one, but I'm definitely going to pack the newer one away. So I got to wash jars and jar up food and whatever, but that's okay. I'm just going to work myself through this, people. Okay, so I'm transferring files, and I can't do this and talk at the same time, so I'm going to keep this short. I'm transferring files so I can take what's on this computer, talking about this, and whatever else I was talking about for whatever video number I'm on, because I don't even know now. This might be number 3 or it might be number 4. I may not have uploaded number 3. This could be number 3 though, either or. Okay, so she robbed from Tisha, and she robbed from Alea May, and she robbed from Kyrie, and the rest of my grandkids, as well as she robbed from Marina. But I'm going to just put it with the girls. She robbed from Tisha, she robbed from Alea May, and she robbed from Marina. Okay? Because, you know, she's part of the family, right? It is what it is. If Tisha didn't want it, and she wasn't going to give it to Alea May, and all that vintage necklaces and belts and everything that Rhea stole, it could have went to Marina, right? In the event that I eventually die. Okay? If I hadn't had a chance to sell it yet. And at the rate I'm going, I don't have a chance to sell anything. Okay? So chances are they would have came into contact with it. Okay? But it's gone now. So there you go, Rhea. You stole from Alea May, a little 6-year-old girl. And now you've got that little 6-year-old girl never allowed to speak to her Nana again. Not to mention Kyrie. Or my grandkids hanging out with them. And you know Amari loves them. That's your handiwork. Well, see, Tisha's running around with a big-ass attitude, blaming me for fucking everything here because I speak about kids. Yeah, okay, whatever. Does it matter what happened to my grandkids? No. Does it matter what happened to Alea May and Kyrie? No. None of that happened. None of that matters. Not allowed to talk about that. Or can I talk about that, Tisha? Can I get permission to tell the world, whoever's watching my videos, which I don't get a lot of views, so I wouldn't get all bent out of shape with it, that my grandkids, 4 of them, have been robbed by a snake? But I'm not allowed to talk about the snake and what kind of lousy mother she is, as she's going to come up in your face and drop her kids so that you can babysit so she can fly off to fucking Mexico? Yeah, okay. Smiling to herself. I got Tisha, that little bitch, all wrapped around my little finger. Yeah. Well, she robbed from you, Tisha, if you're watching, but I know you're not watching because you can't be bothered with it. That's the problem. Right. And she robbed from Alea May and Kyrie. And the rest of us, including my son and his wife. Yeah. So let's set the record straight here. Alright, so I don't know what kind of video I'm going to do today, but I'm going to do it, people. Okay? I'm going to get into this trunk. I tried to get into it last night. It was very difficult. So I'm just crossing my fingers. I'm praying to God that she didn't fucking do it. get in there and rob me of probably $3,000 worth of sequins. I'm going to put it at $3,000, Rhea. If you got into that fucking trunk and you stole that fucking sequins, we're already pushing at $4 grand. $3,500 to $4 grand of shit that you stole from me. This shit ain't fucking funny. Okay, the outside in the yard, maybe I could cut some slack on it because, you know, it's just like weather-worn wood, you know, weather-worn toys that could have been washed and bleached and, you know, and then they would have sat there for another year and LG'd up and, you know, and just, right, you know what I'm saying? A few freaking sprinklers and maybe a rake, well, the hand one with no whatever, just stupid shit like some buckets, obviously planter pots. I mean, that's a whole different ball game than this shit, Rhea. Oh yeah, Rhea. This was underneath my table, Rhea. But you put it up on the fucking trunk to make it look like that those bigger ones with all that vintage jewelry. You walked off with the whole freaking two of them full of vintage jewelry as you emptied out one and broke the freaking clasp on it yet, because just like you were breaking my freaking canning boxes as you were pulling them so that you could dig around and grab more shit, whether it was a whole box, because you know those people, just bear with me, the black beans with the sardines in those cans. Sure, I found a little box with 4 of them maybe missing on top, but there's a whole lot more than that, Rhea, because I buy in fucking bulk for a reason, you stupid bitch. Where's that box? I haven't found that one. I haven't found those ones yet, Rhea. And now that I'm thinking about it, that ham in with that freaking yeast, that's bullshit. Because you went in there, and I know how you came around. You came around from where you took the trunk, okay? And you went that way, because I'm going the same fucking path that you went, bitch. All right? And then you squat your skanky ass down, and you were looking and feeling and moving, open up shit, right? And you found this underneath my fucking table, bitch. And while you were there, you moved the box, or you moved whatever was on top of the box, you opened it up, and what did you find? You found a whole bunch of yeast now, didn't you, bitch? Yeah, you did. And what did you do? You grabbed a whole bunch, and then, because you already fucking found a box full of ham, I haven't found one box of ham yet, people, and I had several boxes of ham. Nothing but ham. What I just showed you, whether it's on this video being uploaded, which I think it is, you know, you go off and spend $70, $80, $90, $100 worth of ham, depending on whether you're paying $3.50 for it or whether you're paying $6.50 for it. Either or, it racks up real fucking fast when you're throwing in 15 to 20 cans of ham in one box, bitch. And I haven't found one box yet, bitch. But I did manage to find 3 cans in with a bunch of freaking, what is that called? Yeast. Because you took out, how many yeast did you take out at $6 a jar? Huh? 10? 8? 7? And to hide it, to make it look like I'm the fucking bonker ones here, all I have to do is go into my Walmart and Canadian Superstore freaking past purchases to find out how many fucking yeasts were in that box. But you stole some from it, and to cover the tracks, you put in 3 fucking pieces of cans of ham in there, with another gaping fucking hole. But you see, ham didn't belong in that box. No, it was nothing but yeast. You took the ham, you took the yeast that you wanted, because you knew if you walked off with both boxes, it would be a problem, so you made sure you ran off with one, with the ham, and you threw in some fucking yeast in there because you had to take some ham out of that box and put it in with the yeast box that you left it there, so that if and when I finally ever got to it, I'd be like, why is that? Well, okay, you know, 2 years went by since Rhea robbed me. I haven't caught a clue yet. You see, you never thought I'd catch a fucking clue on it, and by the time I caught a fucking clue on it, you thought it'd be long gone, and anything I had to say would be too late. Well, it probably is too late, because you probably sold the shit to some fucking, like a little group of I don't know. I doubt you're hoarding this shit at home all by yourself, just sliding over it. Some of it, yes, but not all of it. Unless, of course, you planned on selling it online, now that you got that bee in your bonnet. Huh? Or did you just sell it in a box? Here, look at all this vintage jewelry in here. Oh, this is nice. Well, look, give me a fucking $300 for it, $500 for it. It's all vintage. Yeah. Wait till I tally up that one. So now I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm really worried about my sequins. And if you got into that shit, I'm putting it at $3 fucking grand, maybe even fucking $4. Yeah. Because that's what you were looking for, was the most expensive shit. That's why the baker's chocolate is gone. $500. That is why the freaking chocolate chips and shit so far that I'm looking for are gone. We'll just say another $300. Okay, we're almost at a fucking grand here, people, just with those two things. Not throwing in a ham, we'll just say another $200-300 worth of ham, but with a box over here and a box over there, and maybe a fucking box over there, because that's the way I like to fucking rock and roll around here, bitch. Because I have a family that I actually love. I don't use them as a tool to sucker up to people so that I can rob them blind when they're not looking and then turn them against each other and make them fight because you're the victim. You're being falsely accused. All that fabric up on my fucking top of my bed, I'm going to put it at $1,000 to $1,500 fucking dollars. Easy peasy. Including that freaking whatever bolt you stole at the bottom of the bed. Because you didn't stop just on top. You also took from the bottom. And I'm going to make sure I check my fucking, my furs. Because if my animal furs are gone, not to mention the fur coats that I wanted to use for moccasins and all that stupid shit, I'm going to tack that on the bill too, bitch. But maybe you were just too busy and you didn't quite realize what the hell that shit was. Right? Because you were looking for this shit. That's why. You were hoping you would find a wad of fucking money in there. Yeah, okay. You did. You did. But you got caught red-handed. Yeah. So the big chore for the day, people, is to get into that trunk. I couldn't open it because there's stuff on top. But you see, she was moving stuff anyway. That's what moving the jars was about, was to be the distraction so that I wouldn't pay attention to the other things that she was moving. And just because she had moved from spot to... She moved everything as she went. Okay? She didn't even put this back where it belongs. She put it up there to hide the fact that she took the other fucking jewelry boxes that are like this color, right? Wood. That had the vintage fucking jewelry in it. And you're looking at, I'm going to put it at $1,000, Rhea. What, are we going to push up to 20 fucking grand before I call the cops, bitch? Is that what's going to happen here? Because it sure hell seems that way to me. It really does, people. And like, what do I care? I'm dying. I'm dying. I've been saying it for a long time. I'm not going to be around much longer. But it would have been nice for my kids to have at least a little bit left of something of mom. Not pots and pans and, but, like this is mom's room. I think Paige would understand that if you're watching this page. When Shmay died, you and Tisha were the ones that went into Shmay's room and it was so quiet and so surreal. And then reality sunk in. And you lost your friend, and she was never coming back. Well, that's going to happen to me one day, Paige, because no matter what goes on in the world, I'm always going to be a Mama Lynn to you. You seen me at my best and my finest, and what has my community done to me? But nothing but tear me down, rob me blind over the years, taking fucking advantage of me. You've been a witness to that as a little girl growing up. Andre gets illegally apprehended. Uncle John gets medically fucking kidnapped. Shmay gets bloody murdered. Sierra's lured off to her death. I go blind. Nobody's here to fucking help me. But I'm still Mama Lynn, fighting a good fucking fight. As I'm being robbed blind by, it seems like everybody around me. Except for Andre. So what do I care? Rhea? It's part and parcel of my life. But I care for Alea May. It's really too bad Tisha will never have the pleasure to open this up and find a 50-cent coin. Who knows how long that coin's been sitting in here, people. Just using that. And a 50-cent coin from the United States of America that was probably, I don't know, 30, 40 years old, maybe, I don't know. Not including the other few miscellaneous coins, some silver coins, silver, like 1 ounce silver. I'm pretty sure there was a couple of, 1 or 2 in there and that, right? My rings, my biker rings. You'll be there, Paige. Tisha will open up the box. You'll be looking inside the box. You'll be like, well, that's not very... What's so special about that? Like, what? Look, what is so special about this? Huh. Unless there's another box like that, and I just don't see it yet. And I don't think so. Oh, wow. I'm hoarding that. That's what I left Tisha and Alea May. Something that you can go to the dollar store and pick up for $2. Well, you can thank Rhea for that. But Tisha doesn't care anyway. It's all just junk. Well, you know what, Tisha? The way things are now in my room, you're right. That's just junk. I wouldn't... Well, no, I'd still cherish it if somebody gave it to me. And I'd hang it up with my little bangles and stuff. And I'd look at it every now and then. And I would remember the person who gave it to me. Not because of the dollar value, but because of, you know, just the thought of it. That somebody took the time to give it to me. They cherished it enough to be able to give it to me to appreciate and cherish it with the kind act. Not Rhea. Hell no. So, okay. So I have to get the monkey off my back. I have to, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. And I'm going to get in that trunk because I couldn't lift it up, the lid, because the trunk itself is kind of pushed further to the wall, so there wasn't enough. Plus, there's a bunch of heavy shit on top, but she's strong and she's quick and she's fast, so it would have been nothing for her to shit. And because she, remember those 2 cases of cans that were on the dresser where we took off the first trunk? They were stacked when we left the room. When I came back, they were like this. That tells me that she was putting shit on top of that shit as she was digging through my shit to steal shit. And then when she was done, the shit that she put on that flat surface, she put it back to hide the fact that of what she did. And because she was so rushing, she left them like that. Because that was one big red freaking flag. So, with that said, it would have been very easy for her to quickly take off what was, and I'm going to maybe try it. I'm not as strong as her. I'm not as fast and big as her. But, you know, I can probably do it fairly quickly in terms of if I wanted to get inside that trunk, I'd gauge it at maybe 8 minutes if I worked fast with intent. I suppose if I was experienced, maybe even 5 freaking minutes. Who knows? And once I got in there, it would have been a freaking payday. And if that trunk is empty, I'm tacking on 4 fucking grand in sequins trim. That's vintage, Rhea. So then what? We're at now $8,000 of theft? In a matter of however long I sat here for, waiting for you to be a decent fucking human being and say goodbye to me versus stand on guard. over the stuff that you looted from my house because you're a smash and grab bitch? Yeah. So that's the big chore, is to get into that trunk. So I can get that monkey off my back. And being that I'm writing shit down, for whatever reason, whether I'm relabeling boxes or reorganizing jars and making new labels to match up the jars with their quote-unquote category and date of production, I might as well start writing down a list of the shit that you fucking stole with the dollar amount on it. Yeah, and I'm gonna call the police, and I'm gonna just talk to somebody in a non-emergency kind of way to see what my options are. How to deal with this problem, because you're a fucking menace. Seriously, you can't hide behind a disability. I don't know what the ADD, I don't care what it is. This is morally, ethically wrong. But you knew that anyway. But you're dangerous because you take it to a whole new freaking level. And you like to, I notice, your last employer. Oh, I work. I'm a hard-working part-time, I'm a hard-working mom who sits on welfare. Yeah, right. So that with a blind man, a lawyer who went blind, and you're working for him, kind of like you helped me with my blindness. Isn't that interesting? You help people that are blind and injured, disabled, weak, vulnerable. Yeah, right. Sure, you help them. No, you rob from them. I can only imagine what you robbed from that poor man. And being that he's probably blinder than me, he probably didn't even notice it yet. Yeah. So that's all I can do right now is just take it serious. I have to take this serious. I'm still in shock, people. Literally, I'm still in shock. I'm afraid to open up anything. Okay, I opened up a box. I see that I have, what is that called? Sardines with black beans. Not that it's a favorite food of choice, but it's the fact that if shit got real hard, and you needed those extra calories and you needed those extra vitamins and minerals and, right? I'm not buying junk food here, people, right? I'm not buying junk food. I bought food that could sustain my family in times of hardship. I have a big son. You seen what he did out in this yard in extreme weather, under extreme conditions, with extreme demands. And he pulled it off all by himself. Nobody helped him until the last day. Some Punjabi was out there for 3 hours. Oh, who's that? Oh, I'm just here to help. Mrs. Gill sent me. Yeah, well, you're a little too late, motherfucker. And when you were loading up the freaking vehicle, you were still complaining that it was too heavy because Mark Kane was doing it. And I guess you didn't want to do it because I heard you tell him it was too freaking heavy and you didn't want to pick it up. So you were just, I don't know what you were, but that man didn't help with nothing. A man like Mark Kane needs to eat. So, if you're hungry, and you got, times are tough, eat sardines with black beans. Your mom's got your back, right? If it can get you through for a little while so that you can get your act together, pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps, not give up, not get depressed, not bend over backwards and be somebody's bitch. I'm not your bitch, Rhea. I'm Mama Lynn. First of all, I told you I got a fucking kid as old as you. And I had 5. You've got 3 and you can't even handle 1. But yet you're flying off here and flying off there. Well, now we know why. Because you rob people's houses, you sell this shit, and that's your money to go fucking on holiday. Do you know I've never been on a holiday, not once in my life since I've had kids? Anyway, so the big chore is to get into the trunk. Mm-hmm. And continue going around the last quarter of my room to see what else you took, because I got more vintage jewelry in there in different types of jewelry boxes that would be very, or cans, which would be very easy for you to steal, being that you like to go for the all or nothing. And if you leave something behind, it's only as a distraction to confuse people, to steer away from what you fucking did. Okay? So that you can walk out with $10,000 of goods. By the time I'm done, I wouldn't be surprised, people, if I don't put it at 10 fucking grand. There was a reason that shit was in my room. Okay? And it took a skanky fucking hoe to wipe me out in less than a half an hour. Maybe I sat here between going to the bathroom and everything for as long as a half an hour. And I wouldn't put it past this bitch that she doesn't have an accomplice. Okay? Whether that person was standing and running it back and who knows? Okay? Either or. She had help. Well, yeah, the Uber guy helped her to load up the vehicle. But was he really a Uber fucking driver? Or was he an accomplice? Because it was too smooth. She was guarding it at the door. Because she knew what she had. She knew what she did. And then she had the audacity to come here and tell me she was going to come back on Friday and help me with something else in the next room. Yeah, right. Okay. So now what you're going to see is whatever I talked about yesterday. Okay. This is part 3. April 21st of 2025. It is now 5 minutes to 10 p.m. I've been doing this all day. My back is sore. I'm exhausted. I haven't had anything to eat. I've just been drinking. This is my 3rd or 4th coffee of the day. 4th coffee of the day. I'm going to convert over this video. I'm not watching them, I'm just recording them and then start converting them over. I'll watch them when I have time. Right, because I think this is important, not only as a warning for other people to pay attention to individuals that are up in your face, acting all whatever, and how quickly they can turn on you. That's a big one. Yeah. I didn't see this coming. And then to take it to this level that she took it to, right? It's messed up. And obviously Tisha doesn't care. Right? She's more concerned about me talking about kids on the internet than she is about what that person did. Okay, now, I don't know what these videos are about. I'm just stringing them together as they're whatever. It clicked out on me. This is part 3. So I'm just going to convert as is. And I'm just going to keep plugging away at it. And I'm going to, at some point, I think it's too soon to phone the police. I don't know. Because I don't know what everything is. I don't know. I don't know what's all missing yet. I don't think I'll ever know exactly what's missing. Especially when it comes to certain fabrics and stuff like that. I can't identify each and every piece of jewelry, beaded necklaces, outside of, there was a lot of them and they're not there anymore. I can tell you that right now. Like I had one with big beads with parrots on it, right? You know, just years of just being alive. And a woman. And she's gonna probably try and sell it. Yeah, if she's not gonna wear it for herself. Or she'll sew it into her costumes, because she likes little bits of this and bits of that to make it all, yeah, whatever, you're trash, bitch. Whatever you make is trash. You're a trashy bitch. Yeah. Never met a person like you. I've only seen them on YouTube with the smash and grabs and the looters that go into stores and just grab things and run out. Yeah. Or you hear about the home invasions. That's your style. And to think that you are doing work for a blind lawyer, so you said. No, you were probably robbing people's houses. Because she said that she worked for a lawyer and he went blind. So she'd, you know, do paperwork and clean his house for him. Yeah, right, bitch. I don't think so. You were on robbing people. That's what you do. You rob people. And if you were working for someone like that, I'm sure you robbed them. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why you're so freaking good at what you do. Yeah, you can do it under pressure as a smash and grab, or you could do it at your leisure with your employer, not noticing what you really are. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why you need to be reported to the police. Yeah. At least for fucking information. You know? Yeah. Because I don't think there's anything they can do about this. I really don't. I'd be very surprised if they could do something about this. So this is part 2 now, converting. This is part 3. I'm going to call it quits in the next hour and a bit because I'm getting really tired. And I'm going to pick up in the morning. I can't leave my room in disarray like this with half the shit out in the hall. I have to continue sorting out and putting things back where they belong. I see it as mixing shit up like that was just a distraction. To keep me distracted from the more important things. So I wouldn't notice. This was under my table. It wasn't on top of an empty box. No. And if it was, you found it and you took out what you wanted. Because you're a scoundrel, a piss poor mother, a poor role model, somebody who's unworthy of trust, and a person who needs to go to jail. Yeah. You know, I don't know how to put a dollar value on this because let's just say I do phone the police. I mean, like, don't they want a list of the things that were taken? preferably with serial numbers, as if anything on my room has a serial number on it. Right? I mean, like, some of this stuff my mother brought back from Jamaica before I was even 25 years old. Like, those necklaces and belts and stuff. Like, I know I had one that was beaded with little, you know, those birds with the big beaks. Oh, I can't think of what they're called right now. They're tropical birds with the multiple colors and stuff. And then because my mother used to go to Jamaica and the Bahamas and places like that, she came back with necklaces and stuff with the bigger shells, right? The bigger shells, you know what I'm saying? Right? And a necklace kind of like, that's what I mean, people. For 14 freaking years, I was a slave in the yard. I never got to wear my clothes. I never got to wear my jewelry. I never got to wear my shoes. Oh, only when I went to court, right? Outside of that, I never got to wear any of that. Never got to wear my belts. Never got to wear my necklaces, freaking earrings. None of that crap. And like, I got other stuff in there that if she touched it and it's not there, because it seems like she went through the whole room. I'm 3/4 done, but not fully done. Okay, this is part 3. Who knows how many parts there are going to be to this? I went on the bottom part of my bed, and I couldn't even get to it all. I went up on top with the big gaping hole that all right, because the camera dropped, with some bullshit foamy thing on top of fabric that's been sitting there for 14 years that was stacked to the wall, but there's a big gaping hole with this, just as to like with the switching of the jars and, you know, switching things, like, you know, this thing here, she stacked these bowls, which were probably there before, but not that, because she took the big jewelry boxes, the big wood ones, that color. There was 2 of them there. 1 for sure. 2. She emptied out what was in the ones that I made a long time ago. She put that one there because she found that one under the table, and because she took the boxes. Because she took the big ones. They were thicker. Straight cut, but this kind of a color, right? She took the whole fucking thing. And in order to have the illusion that something was there, she put that one there as a replacement, which should be under the table, but it's not. There's nothing under the table when it comes to that. And then she took this face mask thing and put it on top. And that didn't belong there. That was on top of the seat, on top of the trunk that I gave her. That's where that was. Yeah. The way I see it, she stole it from Tisha and Alea May. And the next one in line would be Marina. If Tisha didn't want it, didn't want to give it to Leah May, then Marina would have inherited it at the rate that I'm going with selling it. Okay? If I happen to get a chance to have my little blind woman's auction. Here's a nice little necklace from, oh my God, when I was like, oh, we'll just say 20 years old, maybe even 18 years old, when my mom went to Jamaica. This is a vintage freaking, what do you call this, shell necklace, right? You know, give me $10 for it. Yeah, okay. As if I got time. Right. So I would have died. Tisha and Marcaine would have went in my room with Marina. Maybe Paige be back in freaking British Columbia, Canada, and be helping Tisha like she helped Tisha when Shimei died. And it'd be like, oh, geez, Mama Lynn, what the hell, right? You know, right? And then they would find it, Paige and Tisha and Marina, and they'd be going through the box, and they'd be looking at it, and what are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to share it between yourselves, right? Because I sure in the hell didn't sell it. But you have absolutely nothing to share now because it's gone. It's been robbed. It's been robbed by Rhea, a fucking goof, a tweaker, people. A professional fucking looter. And Tisha wants to protect her? Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm not. No. I'm going to phone up the cops and I'm going to ask them, what are my choices? Is there a timeline in order to be able to file something? I think it should be Sure, we're documenting it on the camera for learning purposes. What else can you do with it other than learn from it? Right? But I think it should be documented through the police. Because I don't feel like I don't know, I just don't understand how she did this all by herself. I just don't, I mean, she worked fast. She worked really fucking fast. From spot to spot to spot, just rushing. I guess when she said, oh, gee, Judy, after we got, we were getting the trunk out and all, I know it's really hard for you to be going through this, but for me, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah, well, we know why it was exciting, because you couldn't wait for me to be out of that room so that you can go from spot to spot to spot to spot with your cocaine self, fucking methamphetamine self, your whatever drug of choice self. Yeah, self. Paige knows what an addict is. Just like I know what an addict is, because Sierra was a freaking addict. Yeah. I'm sorry, Paige, I'm calling your name. Only because you phoned Tisha from Africa. Don't get mad at me. No. This is YouTube. You know what YouTube is like. YouTube streets. Almost anything is game. Right? In terms of people talk a whole lot worse than I do, okay? I'm mild compared to a lot of these other individuals that bitch on about other people's kids. And I ain't doing it for no freaking views. No, I'm doing it because this is real fucking life. It affected you, okay? Think about it like that, Paige. Just like when Shimei died. What happened? Who was in there doing what you guys were doing? You and Tisha. I wasn't there. Didn't you pack up the room with Tisha? Right? Didn't you go in there looking for Shimei's phone and whatever? Yeah, you were there, right? Did you steal? No, I don't think you did, Paige. Honest to God, I say that from the bottom of my heart. So if you were here in British Columbia, Canada, right, and I happened to die, and you and Tisha went into my room, fuck Rhea, okay? Fuck that bitch. Don't you ever let that bitch anywhere near my house, even in death, okay? What would you do, Paige, with Tisha? You'd help her. You wouldn't rob from her. You wouldn't take things away from Alea May because you were so excited. No, you'd be a decent human being. That's what you would be. The only reason I'm talking about you is because you phoned Tisha and Tisha told me. I'm not trying to drag you into no mess here. I'm really not. But I'm not going to let Ria's decrepit ways erode away the character of you. Because I could die tomorrow. And you could be getting off the airplane. And Tisha would be saying, Paige, my mom died. And you'd be like, I'm there. And you'd be here, just like this, consoling Tisha. And then eventually the two of you would go into my room. And you know what you're going to find? It robbed. That's what you're going to find. You're going to find that it was robbed. Robbed. And you'll be like, I didn't know your mom was a broke bitch. She has nothing to leave behind. They're all empty boxes. Or it's just junk. Nothing good in the box anymore. Why? I thought your mom had some class or something. And Ria'd be like, oh, here, let me help. I'll help you. Mm-hmm. Go for the second run, bitch. Is that it? Yeah, okay. Sure. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So I'm going to phone the cops. I'm just going to ask them what my options are. If there's any way, even a complaint, for crying out loud, to fucking put her name down so that if something happens somewhere else in the community, they'll be able to connect the dots. Yeah. Because I don't think she works alone. I really don't. I don't think she's a lone wolf. I really don't. She's definitely one sick puppy, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so number 1 is up. Number 2 is converting. I'm not watching these. I don't got time. I'm just making them. They're going up on the fly. I'm documenting my emotions. I'm documenting what I'm finding as I'm finding it. You see, that's the thing. That bitch, she didn't expect me to get back in my bedroom within less than a week and go from spot to spot to spot to spot right after her dirty fucking tracks. Sorry, boo-boo tracks. And call her ass out. Okay, she didn't expect that to happen. Because she thought we'd be busy somewhere else. As she was getting excited. Like a dog in heat. Because that's what she is. A fucking dog in heat. Sorry, boo-boo heat. Boo-boo dog in heat. Andre says, why do you say boo-boo all the time? I said, because I'm trying to cut back on swearing. Right? It didn't work though. So, in light of what I just found, so we were pushing between 2,000 and 3,000 in part 1. Just in light of what I just found, or did not find, you know, technically I should add on $1,000 because it was vintage. It was all vintage. Silver rings, probably 1 or 2 gold rings with rhinestones. We had a few coins in there. Maybe a few other little miscellaneous, you know, who knows, okay? But definitely the vintage biker rings, that kind of shit. Shit that bitch would like, right? So she can act all tough with the bikers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And, you know, 50-cent U.S. coins from, who knows, 1968, something like that. Probably a silver dollar that is, you know, worth something. Could have been a collector's one because I have one that's a horse. But for all I know, that could be missing too. I paid $100 for that. It was a collector's one. All that jewelry, whether it was necklaces or belts, okay? And that's what I found so far. So we're pushing between 3,000 and 4,000 now. Forget the 2,000. We've passed the 2,000 mark. I showed you with that box how fast it fills up with money when you put food inside of it, okay? If you wanted to calculate the dollar amount per box, and that was on the cheap. Okay, that was $3.50 a can and $2.27 a can. It wasn't $6 a can. It wasn't $7 a can. It was a measly $3.50 a can for the ham and $2.27 for the kipper snacks. 15 ham, 8 kipper snacks came up to what, $70? Okay? Times that by 2. If you filled it up with $6 to $7 worth of either sockeye salmon or corned beef, depending on the corned beef, right? So we're looking at $100 per box, $140 per box, okay? I seen one box of salmon, but it was too far to get to. I wasn't in the mood to be straining myself, right? One day I'll check it out. I'm assuming that the salmon is there because that big ass box of freaking, but you know what? Who knows with this girl, right? With that corned beef, to where she must have been sticking her hand in there hoping to grab the shit out, but she couldn't. She couldn't. Right? And in that area where that is, was that box of sockeye salmon. And I just didn't feel like digging it out just yet. And I still haven't gone to the other end of the bed, which I'm not going to worry about until I do the circle. Once I'm done the circle, I get the jars basically figured out for the most part, put them back the way they're supposed to be for the most part, right? Cut my losses. But yeah, we're just going to say between $3,000 and $4,000, this girl has wiped me out. Just like that. But you didn't steal it from me, Rhea. You stole it from Tisha first, because she's my only remaining daughter. You stole it from Malaya May, my granddaughter, okay? You even stole it from Kyrie, who's my grandson. You stole it from my other 2 grandchildren, okay? You're the mother of the year going around stealing from children, and I'm not allowed to talk about children on the boo-boo internet. Like, kick rocks, bitch. Seriously, kick fucking rocks. You got your priorities definitely in the wrong spot. And then, if you had to throw in a sidekick, you stole it from Paige. You stole it from Paige. Yeah, because it was Paige who helped Tisha when Shimei died. Not you. Paige did that. And if I died and Paige was here in Canada, she'd be there in a heartbeat. And she wouldn't be, I'm so excited your mom's dead now. I can really go fucking nuts in here. All I have to do is wait for Tisha to leave the room. And I'll just stuff it in my bra and I'll put it up my fucking, you know what, boing, up in there, and I'll put it up the other side too. One up in the vagina, and up, ain't it, and just put it in the back of my mouth. I can't talk with a big, I need to fill it up with a bunch of shit in here and talk to you with big, what do you call those things? Chipmunk cheeks. This is better than Z Nation. I'm so mad. I want to put paper towels in my mouth so that I have, but I need something there so I can talk and look funny. Because that's what Rhea would be doing. She'd be stuffing the shit wherever she could fucking stuff it. The minute Tisha and Paige walk out of the room. And it doesn't matter what the room is. Hell, if she thought she could put it between her toes and walk out and get away with it as she's excited because she's a fucking tweaker, she'd do it. Paige wouldn't, though. No. And I know that for a fact. Okay, it is 10:30. I ain't getting anywhere in life here. I think I might just call it a night. Maybe. I'll try and do another half an hour to an hour. Just get that monkey off my back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Work on the jars. In terms of organizing them and putting them with their proper freaking category. Like, how did she get apple mango from over by the bed all the way over by the other end of the room? Like, how did that work? Like, how did she do that? That's what I mean. Like, I feel like somebody else was in the room with her, purposely doing this with her. Or at least helping to carry the shit outside. Okay. I don't know how much I'm gonna do in here because when it gets dark, I mean, it's amazing, even with the curtains closed, what a little bit of sunlight going through the window can do. It's hard enough to see in here as it is. I don't know how I'm gonna sort these jars out because she mixed them up. She mixed them up good. But she did that as a distraction from the more serious stuff when it came to stealing shit. So I have to make a list and put a dollar value on it with a description. Right, like those jewelry boxes. Oh. Beef, September 14th of 2023. How am I supposed to figure this out? For all I know, I could have a beef from September 14th of 2023 over there, like the mango, apple mango. Right? Oh man, I'm starting to feel ill. This is making me feel ill. What's these? I can't see. It's hard enough for me to see as it is. I gotta take this shit in stride. What is this? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I can't see it. I might be just wasting my time right now doing this. I think my best bet. Yeah, it's all mixed up, people. This says ground pork, steak, August of 2023. Didn't we find that over there? Like, how did she do this? I don't quite get how she could have done this. Ground beef, steak. Okay. Alright, that's not working. It's not working. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. Oh, isn't this interesting? Bone and ham hock, April 30th of 2023. Didn't we have ham hock? Where's the camera? There it is. Didn't we have a ham hock? No, the ham hock, there's like 3 jars over there. I took the box out. I see it right here, ham hock. There's stuff on top though. Let's see. Even if we just do a little bit. So I guess Tisha doesn't have to worry about dealing with this junk, because it's all junk now. Rhea took the best stuff, eh? Because, you know, when Tisha gets mad at me, oh, I don't want anything. Ground turkey, September 14th of 2023. Prior to her getting mad at me, she was ground turkey. Yeah, you see, I need that for Amari. Because look at the size. Or you'd put that in a little crock pot for a small little, like a small, maybe 2-liter size crock pot, just to make a nice something, soup or something, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do this for a little while, and I asked Andre to feed me bacon. Well, why the hell is bacon here? No, this should be in its own freaking container, people. Like, I don't get it. Did this bitch bring her fucking tweaker friends in here? She must have had an accomplice or something. Like, seriously, man. Bacon. When I did bacon, I did a whole tray of bacon. I did 12 jars plus. And there's a whole bunch of jars missing. Okay. Here, I can tell you right now. How many do I have? Bacon. Okay, there. There's 5 jars there. I should be able to feel the indentation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, doesn't really feel like it. Anyway, that's weird. Oh, what's going on in there? Doesn't look right. Oh, wait, there's more jars back there. Couple more. Oh, I gotta get in there because one jar dropped. That had oil in it. Oh. Bacon. Ham hock. There's ham hock. 3 of them over there. Is this what she's feeding her kids? Because she's such a good freaking mom? What do you think? Or did she give it to her accomplice? Yeah, there's shit missing. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because you can see the indentation on it. Because it's been sitting here since 2023. Doesn't look like there was one there because it was on the edge or something. 9, 8. We'll say 8 and 5 is what? 13 jars? How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what happened to 5 jars? Well, 3 of them are out there, and who knows? Ham hock. Okay. Oh my God. So yeah, when Tisha gets mad, I don't want anything. It's all junk. Oh my God. And then when she found out about this stupid shit, she got all weirded out and paranoid about that dress. And said that she'd have to come and see if the dress was there. And if the dress was gone, then she'd believe me. And I'm like, what the hell? You'd only believe me if she took the... You'd only get mad if she took the dress that you like? Yeah, right. But if she didn't take the dress, all of a sudden you don't believe me? Okay. Alright, so this says here, Ham hock. Bacon and ham hock. April 30th of 2023. Alright, so maybe this is all ham hock. No, it says fucking ground turkey. If that's the case, why? That's bullshit, people. I'm telling you. Oh my God, ground turkey. Do you think I'm lying? I'm not lying. Hold on a minute. How can we do this where you can see it? Oh my God. Can you see it? Can you see it? It says ground turkey. What the fuck is ground turkey doing in here for? It says ham hock. Bacon and ham hock. Do you see what's on the box? Like, this is stupid, man. Like, this is really stupid. I've never seen such stupid shit in all my life. And what's even more stupider is I have to prove it. Do you see that? It's right on the box. Look what's in here. Ground turkey. Ground turkey. What's that? Bacon and ham hock. Ground turkey, what the hell? What else is in here? Bacon and ham hock. Oh, I know, this light is terrible. I'm sorry. Let's just see if we can get something different. That's not working. Oh my God. What else? What else can we see here? I can't see. Let's try this light. This, because my eyes, right? You can probably see it. Ground turkey. Ground turkey. Ground turkey. Ground turkey. Bacon and ham hock. Well, I don't know what that is. Bacon and ham hock, I think. Yeah. Bacon and ham hock. Anyway, somebody messed with that. I'm curious to see what this is. And you know what? Doing this is compromising my jars. Yeah. So now I'm going to have to backtrack over the next several months, every couple, 2-3 weeks, tapping all the jars, see if anything popped because of the stress that they're under. Okay, this is nicely, but you know I'm suspicious. This is nicely taped up, but this could be lug, like jars with lug lids. Yeah. I was looking for these things. This is little jars with lug lids. So I probably just put them there to put them out of the way. This is where I need a knife. I'll show you. Whatever. Remember I said I wanted to... There. I need these for that extra. These are lug lids. For that salt. That smoked salt. I wanted something small, just like this size, so that I can just get rid of them out of the bag and they can stack up nice on each other. So that's good. So we'll take that out, and that will go for the smoked salt. Being that my kitchen is so small. right? So we'll just put that there for now, if I can fit it in there. And then, I'm afraid to look. Oh my God. Oh no. Don't scare me now. Remember I told you some of these size jars are gone. What is this? Organic cranberries. Because the boxes are here. There's these two. And it looks like I wrote on them. So, before I put everything away, honestly, and there's two of them there, I need to, let's see what it says. It says organic cranberries, organic mulberries, hulled barley, golden berries. And then, I don't know what's on the bottom. It's written there too. So that means I have to pull everything out because I'm double checking. Okay? Just like I should not have ground turkey in here. I should have, as a matter of fact, I'll take it out right now because didn't we have bacon in here? And I seen it in the, this is sick. This is so sick. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Except for maybe on the news or something like that. Or on YouTube. When people are looting and smash and grabbing and you hear about home invasions and shit like that. Right? Okay. So, because it just says ham hock, these other ones don't belong here. Ground turkey does not belong there. Ground turkey belongs in its own box. So what would be the purpose of this other than to try and distract me away from looking further to see what the hell's going on? But in her mind, we were already somewhere else working. Right? She didn't expect me to be in here that fast. Ground turkey. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. This, here's more ground turkey. Holy crumb. This box, oh my God. This box should be nothing but ham and bacon. Sorry. Okay, bacon and ham hock. Ham hock and bacon. Same, yeah, bacon and ham hock. Okay? Gotta be careful it doesn't go sliding off on me. So what, out of a box of 12, what's in it in terms of bacon and ham hock left? I'll tell you in a second. And she switched shit up. Why would she do that? Outside of to distract me. So that I wouldn't dig deeper. Looking for something. Something that clearly I can't find. Okay, so this should have 12 ham hock bacons. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 jars are missing. It was replaced with ground turkey, which should have its own box, but we don't know where that was. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab these ham hocks with bacon. Okay. I like to keep my stuff together. Label the box so if I want it, I'm easy to find. Right? There's no reason for ground turkey to be in there, and if there was going to be in there, I would have written it on the label And nowhere is it written on the label that it's in there. That was put in there by somebody else. And only one person has had access to my bedroom to do something like this. So that's a whole case. That was a whole case. So the ham that's in the hall is when I just did ham. This is ham and bacon. There's a difference. Okay? Now, because this is here, honestly, now I don't think she pulled this all out because this is too much. Right? So I think these ones here are pretty safe. I mean, I can't be 100% sure. What does this say? Golden berries. That looks like barley. It's heavy. I don't know. What is in this one? Mulberry. Organic, and I grounded it up. I dehydrated it more, and I grounded it up. And this stuff is so good. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that right now. We can't be anal about everything that we do in here at this point. So we're going to put these ham hocks with the bacon. We're going to check the jars first. From what I can tell, so far they're okay. And now we're going to put this back without those jars. And it won't fit. Oh wait, there we go. Okay. And I got a little room for something else later. If I want. Which I may do that. I balanced the weight. Those jars were empty, so it worked out pretty good. Right? I don't really want to add too much more. Okay, now this is different. I don't know how to do this. This is complicated. I'm curious to know if she got into the drawer. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is bad, people. This is so bad. This is so freaking bad. Well, I guess Tisha doesn't have to worry about my shit no more. Anything that was good, that maybe she would have liked, it looks like it's gone. Okay. Yep. I know. So, I found 6 jars of black wild rice. But there should be some over there. I don't think she could switch that around. And I have been looking for this for a very long time. I don't think she found this. I think mixing up the jars more than anything was just a distraction. So if I was to get, I don't know. Because I need to start making bread. Do you know this is selling at $6 a bottle? I don't know if she got into this box. Honestly, I don't. It's not very full, and for some strange reason, there's 3 cans of ham in here. These are the bigger ones. I think. in terms of grammage. Yeah, these are bigger ones, but I'm going to take this box out and keep the yeast handy. There's a fly in here, which makes me suspicious in terms of maybe a jar popped or maybe a can or something, you know, being, especially with things being moved around. I got this fly flying around in here. Kind of makes you, so there's 3 cans of this ham, plus some of these jars, but almost like these jars, there's 1, 2, 3 missing, and I wouldn't put something like this away unless it was completely full, so I'm suspicious. She may have gotten into that. And we are missing 1 box. Well, no, we're not missing the box. We're missing the jars that was inside. At least 1 box anyway, that I'm aware of. With the 1.8 liter jars, remember? It was here on the table with that miscellaneous freaking canned goods from home canning that had no reason or rhyme or reason to be in there. Okay, so this doesn't close. Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay, so 3 jars I think are missing out of this box. Because before I put it away over there, I'd have it completely full. I wouldn't even waste my time putting in a box that wasn't full, because, you know, space is valuable, right? But I'm glad I found it, because I've been looking for it for a long time, and I didn't want to dig for it. I knew it was in here, but I found it, so that's good. So we'll use up the ham. Andre, I'm going to do ham, right, with the barbecue sauce. And I'm going to put the yeast close by and start using yeast. And I should have some yeast downstairs. And I got a little bit of yeast I noticed in a can over here. But in that can should be the baker's chocolate. But it's not there. The baker's chocolate is gone. But I took care of that problem. I replaced that. So I'm going to probably call it a night here pretty soon. I mean, there's only so much I can do at one time, right? And I'm very tired. And what I should do is I took out 2 old jars from 2011, I think, that has apples in it. Just, you know, whatever. So I'm going to look, I don't know. One looks like it's toast. I can't really tell anymore by the color. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's very light and it's very dark. I think it's going to be raccoon food because right now I need the jar. From what I can tell, where's the camera? There it is. Sorry. From what I can tell, it's gotten dark. From what I can tell. But it's very old. So it's compost. If you notice the tape on it, that's from 2011. Fukushima radiation! Ask my kids when it became an obsession with me. It all started with Fukushima radiation. Ask Tisha. Blame it on Fukushima radiation. My mom went nuts. Now, I really started to go nuts after Shimei was murdered. I mean, I had my little food pantry in that 14-year-old food storage area, and obviously I had a bit upstairs. But after Shimei got murdered, Edgar moved in for a year. He was in her room for a year, and then he moved out, and I didn't want anybody in the house. I wanted to bring it down to a very quiet, low ebb. I'm trying to take this tape off. So I took Shimei's room over, and I was going to turn it into a sewing room. I actually set up the sewing machines and everything, but it ended up being a pantry. Yeah, that's what it ended up being. And then I got kicked out of the basement. I couldn't take some of this stuff downstairs. I wanted to, but I couldn't because whatever. So, anyway, this has been taped up. I'm surprised this tape has been on there since 2011. It was my way to keep the air out because I didn't know anything about oxygen absorbers. And if I did, I didn't necessarily trust them because I didn't know anything about them. Now I value them and I understand the importance of them. And I highly recommend that if you do any kind of food storage with dry goods, that you learn to use them. Yup. There we go. Let's see. I want to smell it. I'm curious to know what it smells like. All I care about is the jar. That's all I want. I just want the jar. And then there's another one. Here we go. Okay, so 2011. We're in 2025. So this tape has been on here for what, 14 years? That's too funny. Does that make it vintage? No, you have to be 20 years before it's vintage. All my necklaces and belts and everything that else was in those jewelry boxes were vintage. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, this is funny. I'm gonna put those baker's chocolate in this after I wash the jars. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm starting to feel sick. I work so hard I get dizzy, I get nauseated, more so than I normally am. But I guess that's just a part of being an adult and getting old, right? What else are you gonna do? Sit on your ass, feel sorry for yourself, cry, cry, cry. Yeah. I don't think so. And then it looks like I took saran wrap. This is where you need a utility knife or something. I just have to find the... Could you see me planting a garden right now? I don't think so. No way. I don't want to go anywhere near dirt. I'm sick of dirt. In terms of, like, doing much with it. Oh my God. Come on. You know I'm getting tired when I don't want to go very far. I'm really curious to know what this smells like. After all these years. I don't think I'd eat it. I'd have to be real hungry. I'm not that hungry. When China started starving its people, I don't know what year it was. I don't know what the era was called. All I know is that there was no food. And people were eating leather belts. Yeah. And in the United States, they have rivers that have hunger stones in them because people didn't have food. So they used to give their children stones to suck on to take away the hunger and the hunger pains. That's why they're called hunger stones. Right? Come on, come on, come on. This is taking too long. I want to use my teeth. Anyway. Okay, so I have 2 jars like this. They're not very big. Clearly you can see. Now I could, what do you call it? Whoa, sure, drop the camera. I could soak a piece, see what it does. The other ones are lighter, eh? I don't know where they are. But they're here. Maybe those are it. I don't know. Let me see. Come on, bitch. Maybe it's the same color. After all these years. You just throw them in the compost. Right? If the raccoons want it, they'll eat it. And then, same thing. Same idea. Fukushima radiation. Yeah. Anyway, I get 2 jars. I don't want to have to pay any more than I have to. Okay. So I think I'm going to call it a night. This thing was over there. Or at least I thought so.